Have you ever noticed that, as we grow older, things that once felt so simple and natural, like going to bed, start to feel different? Maybe you've observed it in your own parents, or a loved one, or perhaps in yourself. It's almost like, overnight, the rhythm of sleep becomes more fragile. You might find them staying up later, or maybe waking up multiple times in the middle of the night. And for some, it's like the quiet of the evening doesn't hold the same comfort it once did. But here's the thing, what if I told you that the time at which we fall asleep and the quality of that sleep could have a monumental impact on how we age? What if a simple shift in bedtime could lead to better health, a clearer mind, and a happier life for your elderly loved ones? You see, sleep isn't just about resting, it's the time when our bodies repair, rejuvenate, and rebalance themselves. And for seniors, getting the timing right isn't just a matter of preference, it's a matter of health. So, the question I want you to think about is, what time should the elderly go to bed for the best health? Let's explore this together. I know you're here because you care, whether it's for your parents, your grandparents, or even your neighbors. You want to make sure they're living their best lives, and understanding how to guide them toward healthier habits, like better sleep, is a part of that. But before we get into the specifics, let me ask you, have you ever watched your loved one, maybe your mom or dad, stay up late and wonder if it's having an impact on their health? Have you been frustrated, unsure of what to do, knowing how important sleep is, but feeling uncertain about when exactly they should go to bed? It's easy to overlook, right? We assume that because they're older, sleep is just what it is. But trust me, sleep for seniors is more important than ever, and the timing of it, when they fall asleep, how long they stay asleep, and how rested they feel when they wake up, can make all the difference in their quality of life. Now, think back for a moment. Remember when your mom or dad was always on the go? The energy they had, the way they could keep up with everything and everyone? You could almost feel their vitality. But then, slowly, those signs of aging started showing up. They'd tire faster, and maybe it wasn't just physical. It was emotional too. The mood changes. A little more irritable, a little less interested in things. And you might wonder if it's just a normal part of getting older. But here's what many people don't realize, it doesn't have to be that way. The secret? Sleep. More specifically, how and when they go to bed. For seniors, going to bed at the right time can actually help slow down the aging process, physically, mentally, and emotionally. That's right. Sleep plays such a huge role in all aspects of health, and the timing of it is crucial. But what is that right time? What do the experts say? When should they get in bed to truly maximize their health? First, let's talk about the natural sleep-wake cycle. It's called the circadian rhythm, and it's essentially your body's internal clock. It controls when you feel sleepy, when you wake up, and all the little hormonal processes in between that help you feel alert and refreshed, or groggy and sluggish, depending on how well you stick to it. Now, as we age, our circadian rhythms change. We naturally start going to bed later and waking up earlier. And that might sound fine, but it's not actually the best thing for their health. Doctors actually recommend that seniors aim for a bedtime between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. for optimal health benefits. Here's why. Going to bed earlier helps align their sleep cycle with the natural drop in body temperature and the release of melatonin, the hormone that makes us feel sleepy. When they stay up too late, they're fighting against their natural biological clock, which can lead to poor sleep quality, insomnia, and an increased risk of health problems like heart disease, diabetes, and cognitive decline. Now, I know this might be hard to hear. You might be thinking, but my mom or dad isn't tired until late. They want to stay up, watch their favorite shows, or chat with friends online. And I get it. It's a tough situation, because we want them to feel independent and enjoy life. But the reality is, staying up too late can actually cause more harm than good, and it's something that's worth addressing. So, what can you do to help them? First, gently encourage them to start winding down around 8 o'clock or 8:30 p.m. Create an environment that's conducive to sleep, dim lights, soft music, or maybe a good book to read. You could even make it a fun ritual. The second part of this is consistency. Just like children, seniors benefit from having a routine. When they consistently go to bed at the same time each night, their body starts to recognize it as a cue to relax and sleep better. So, stick with it. And yes, it might take some time for them to adjust, but I promise you, it's worth it. But beyond just the when, there's also the how. How do they sleep? Are they comfortable? Are they relaxed enough to get deep, restorative sleep? We'll talk about that in a second. But before we do, I want you to pause and think about something important. Have you noticed any of these signs in your loved one? Do they seem restless at night, waking up multiple times? Do they tell you they're tired all the time, but they still can't seem to sleep soundly? These little signs are your cue. They're not just part of getting older, they might be telling you that something deeper is going on. So, the next step is understanding those signs and knowing how to act on them. But remember, it's not about being pushy. It's about approaching it with love and care. Alright, let's take a step back and take a deep breath. I know this can feel overwhelming. You're doing your best to care for your loved ones. And I want you to know that just by watching this video, you've already started doing the right thing. You're educating yourself. You're learning how to help them thrive. And that's all they need, your presence, your patience, and your understanding. So, let's keep going. In the next part, I'm going to share more about the signs to watch for, how to set up the perfect sleep environment, and why consistency is so crucial for both physical and mental health. This is your opportunity to take action today and make sure your loved ones are getting the best sleep they can, so they can feel better, live better, and, most importantly, be better. Stay with me, because we've got more to dive into. This isn't just about bedtime. It's about giving your elderly loved ones the healthiest, happiest life possible. And it all starts with the simple, powerful act of sleep. Imagine this: your dad, someone who was once sharp, witty, and full of energy, now seems to forget things more often. He struggles to remember where he left his keys, or worse, he forgets conversations you just had. It's almost as if the man you once knew is fading away. And then, you notice that he's more withdrawn, less engaged with his usual activities. Could a poor sleep routine be the culprit? You see, sleep isn't just about resting. For seniors, it's the time when their brains reset, organize memories, and keep their cognitive functions sharp. But when they don't get enough sleep, or when their sleep is disturbed, it can lead to something much more concerning. Poor sleep is actually a major contributor to cognitive decline, including dementia and Alzheimer's disease. Studies show that seniors who don't sleep well are at a significantly higher risk for developing memory loss, confusion, and even more severe mental health issues like depression. You might be thinking, but my dad has always been a light sleeper, or he's just getting older. It's common to think that seniors just don't need as much sleep as younger people. But that's a misconception that can be harmful. The truth is, older adults still need around 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night to keep their brain functioning properly. Sleep isn't a luxury for them, it's a necessity for maintaining mental health. So what can we do to help improve your loved one's sleep? First off, it's essential to establish a consistent bedtime. Going to bed at the same time every night helps regulate the body's internal clock and improve sleep quality. But it's not just about when they go to bed, it's also about how they prepare for it. A calm, relaxing pre-sleep routine can do wonders. Encourage activities like reading, listening to soft music, or even doing some gentle stretches to help their body wind down. And here's a tip that many people overlook: limit daytime naps. While a nap here and there isn't a problem, long naps during the day can mess with nighttime sleep, making it harder for them to stay asleep through the night. Now that we've talked about mental health and sleep, let's move on to something else that sleep directly impacts: the immune system. The next thing we need to address is how a lack of sleep can make your loved one more vulnerable to illness. Think back to a time when your mom or dad caught a cold, and it seemed to take them longer than usual to bounce back. They weren't as quick to recover from a simple illness like they used to be. Could their sleep habits be playing a role in this? Well, they absolutely could. You see, when seniors don't get enough sleep, their immune systems suffer. It's a fact that sleep is directly tied to how well our bodies can fight off illnesses. During sleep, the body produces vital proteins and immune cells that help defend against viruses and bacteria. But if your loved one isn't getting enough rest, their immune system becomes weaker, leaving them more susceptible to things like the flu, pneumonia, and even more serious infections. This is particularly concerning for seniors, as their immune systems naturally weaken with age, making proper sleep even more critical. Unfortunately, many families mistakenly think that getting older just means being more prone to getting sick. But here's the truth: sleep plays a huge role in strengthening the immune system. So, it's important that we prioritize sleep, especially for older adults, to help them stay strong and healthy. What's the best way to help them get the rest they need? A consistent bedtime, just like we talked about before, is crucial. But it's also essential to make sure the environment is sleep-friendly. A cool, quiet, and dark room will do wonders for improving sleep quality. You might also want to encourage your loved one to limit caffeine and alcohol, especially in the evening. These can disrupt sleep patterns, making it harder for the body to rest and recover. Now, we've covered how sleep affects mental health and the immune system. But did you know that it can also have a big impact on heart health? Let's dive into that next. Think about it, we've all heard the saying, heart health starts with good habits, right? But here's something many don't realize: good sleep is one of the most important habits for heart health, especially as we age. Imagine your dad, who has been dealing with high blood pressure for years. You've always been concerned, but lately, his heart seems to be struggling more than before. Is there something more you can do? Well, getting a better night's sleep might be the key. Studies have shown that a lack of sleep is directly linked to higher risks of heart disease, high blood pressure, and even strokes in seniors. Poor sleep affects the body's ability to regulate blood pressure and repair blood vessels. It's like putting extra strain on a car engine that's already been running for years. Eventually, it's going to wear down. That's exactly what happens to the heart when we don't get enough rest. But here's where it gets tricky: many seniors don't think their sleep habits are impacting their heart health. They might think that skipping a few hours of sleep or staying up late isn't a big deal. But over time, these little habits can add up and lead to serious health problems. The good news? A simple shift in sleep habits can make a huge difference. One of the best things you can do for your loved one's heart health is encourage them to stick to a regular bedtime. Aim for that 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. window, and make sure they avoid screen time before bed. Blue light from phones and TVs can mess with sleep quality, making it harder for their body to naturally relax. If they're dealing with high blood pressure, a better sleep routine could actually help bring those levels down, improving their overall heart health. Now that we've addressed heart health, let's move on to another important aspect of health: physical recovery. As we age, it takes longer for our bodies to bounce back from injuries or surgeries. But did you know that sleep plays a major role in how well and how quickly seniors recover? Picture this: your mom had knee surgery, and you're doing everything you can to help her recover. You make sure she gets the right food, you help her with exercises, but despite all that, it seems like her recovery is taking longer than expected. Could something as simple as sleep be the missing piece? You see, sleep is when the body repairs itself. It's during deep sleep that cells regenerate, tissues heal, and the body gets a chance to recharge. For seniors, poor sleep can delay recovery and increase pain sensitivity. When your loved one isn't getting enough quality sleep, their body isn't able to heal as quickly, and they might feel sore or fatigued for much longer. So, how can you help? Encourage your loved one to stick to a regular sleep schedule, and make sure they have a comfortable, supportive bed. This will make a huge difference in how well their body can recover, whether it's from surgery, illness, or just the wear and tear of aging. But it's not just about sleep. The next thing we'll talk about is when the best time for seniors to go to bed actually is for maximum health benefits. Let's dive into that. Think about this for a moment. When was the last time your loved one had a proper, restful night's sleep? You know, the kind where they wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy, not disoriented. It's likely that when you ask them, the answer is something along the lines of, "Oh, I was up late last night, couldn't sleep." And the truth is, they probably don't realize just how important when they go to bed really is. They might think that staying up late doesn't matter. But what if I told you it does? A lot of seniors, especially in their later years, tend to stay up later than they should, and that may seem harmless. But in reality, this is a pattern that can cause more harm than good over time. Why? Because sleep timing is just as important as the amount of sleep. Doctors suggest that seniors should aim for a consistent bedtime, ideally before 10 p.m. Why is this timing so important? It's all about aligning their sleep schedule with the body's natural circadian rhythm, the internal clock that tells us when to feel sleepy and when to wake up. You see, as we age, our circadian rhythm naturally shifts, and it becomes harder for our bodies to stay up as late as we once could. When seniors stay up past 10 p.m., they disrupt this natural rhythm, which can lead to issues like poor sleep quality, mood swings, and even an increased risk of health problems. It might seem like a small change, but going to bed too late can affect everything from mental clarity to immune function, making the body less able to fight off infections and recover properly. One common misconception that many people have is that bedtime doesn't matter all that much, after all, if they get their 7 to 8 hours, right? But this couldn't be further from the truth. Timing is critical, especially for seniors. When the body gets in sync with its natural rhythms, it's able to experience deeper, more restorative sleep, which is essential for long-term health. In fact, poor timing can lead to chronic health issues like heart disease, depression, and weakened immune systems. So, what can we do to help our loved ones establish the right bedtime routine? The answer is simple: consistency and a little preparation. Encourage your loved one to start winding down by 8:30 p.m. or even earlier, depending on what works for them. Avoid engaging in stimulating activities like watching TV or using a smartphone right before bed. Instead, suggest something relaxing, maybe a warm cup of herbal tea, a light stretch, or a calming routine of reading a book. These little changes can make a huge difference in the quality of sleep they get, and they'll wake up feeling more refreshed and energized the next day. But here's the trick: getting seniors to follow through on this new bedtime schedule might take time. It's not about being strict, but more about gently guiding them into a healthier rhythm. You might even want to make it a shared experience, set up a cozy, relaxed environment that encourages both of you to wind down together. A little company, some patience, and a commitment to the routine can go a long way. Now that we've covered the importance of sleep timing, you might be wondering, how do we implement these changes effectively, especially if my loved one is resistant to the idea? Well, let's talk about how you can help them adjust, without overwhelming them, so they can reap the full benefits of good sleep. Let's take a moment to talk about how to implement these bedtime changes smoothly. I know it can be tough. Maybe your loved one is set in their ways, and they've always stayed up later, thinking it's just how things are supposed to be. Maybe they don't want to change, or they're used to a certain nighttime routine. But I'm here to tell you that with a little encouragement, consistency, and some gentle nudging, they can adjust their bedtime, and it will be worth it. First, start small. Don't expect them to go from staying up until midnight one night to suddenly going to bed at 9 p.m. the next. It's a gradual process, and it's important to make it feel natural. You can start by shifting their bedtime by 15 to 30 minutes earlier each night, rather than making a drastic change. This slow adjustment allows the body to adapt without feeling overwhelmed. Also, create a calm, comforting sleep environment. This is key. The bedroom should be a peaceful retreat. A place that promotes relaxation, not stress. Keep the lights dim, eliminate distractions, and make sure the bed is comfortable. If necessary, add some extra blankets or pillows to ensure they feel supported. Sometimes, it's the little things that can make a big difference in how well someone sleeps. Another helpful tip: introduce a bedtime routine that's easy to stick with. It doesn't have to be elaborate. A few minutes of quiet time, a warm drink, and maybe some light conversation can help signal to the body that it's time to wind down. If they're open to it, you might even introduce meditation or breathing exercises, which can help calm the mind and prepare the body for sleep. Finally, be patient. If they resist, don't push too hard. Instead, have a conversation about the benefits of better sleep. Explain how it can help them feel more energized, reduce health risks, and improve their overall quality of life. Approach it from a place of care and understanding. After all, this is all about helping them live their best life in their later years. Now, I know it can be difficult to see the results immediately. But trust me, consistency will pay off. Over time, you'll notice that their sleep quality improves, they'll wake up feeling more refreshed, and their overall health will improve as well. So, as you guide your loved one toward better sleep habits, keep in mind that you're not just helping them fall asleep, you're helping them reclaim their health and vitality. And with each step, you're showing them that you're there, supporting them every night, every step of the way. You've made it this far, and that says something incredible about you. You care deeply about your loved one's health and happiness, and you're willing to take the time to learn and adapt. That's the kind of dedication that truly makes a difference in someone's life. I know it's not always easy, and some nights may feel like a challenge. But remember, the small changes you're making now will have a lasting impact on their health and well-being. Sleep, after all, is the foundation for everything: mental clarity, physical health, and emotional stability. With the right bedtime routine, your loved one can enjoy a more vibrant, healthier life, no matter their age. So, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've learned something valuable that will make a real difference in your loved one's life. Remember, it's not just about bedtime, it's about showing them love, care, and support in the most meaningful ways possible. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video with more tips on elderly care and health awareness. Watching your elderly loved one struggle with sleep can be one of the hardest things to witness. You've seen the way they toss and turn at night, restless and frustrated, or how they wake up feeling more tired than when they went to bed. It's heartbreaking, especially when you realize that it's affecting more than just their sleep, it's affecting their health, their happiness, and their quality of life. It's like they're slowly fading away right before your eyes, and all you want to do is help. But I want you to know that you're not alone in this. There are millions of families just like yours, facing the same struggles, the same worries, and the same questions about how to help their loved ones age with dignity and comfort. You're not alone in this, and you can make a difference. Here's the thing: instead of feeling helpless, you now have the tools to do something about it. You don't need to feel overwhelmed by the challenge of helping your loved one sleep better. The steps we've discussed today are simple but powerful, and with each little change you make, whether it's adjusting their bedtime, creating a calming routine, or setting up a peaceful sleep environment, you're already taking a step toward improving their health. These aren't just small changes either. They're the foundation for a better, healthier future for your loved one. And you're in control of making that happen. Instead of worrying, let's flip the perspective. Instead of fear and uncertainty, let's focus on preparedness. You now have the knowledge, the insights, and the strategies to help your loved one sleep better, feel better, and live better. You can do this. And most importantly, they can thrive with your support. Small actions, consistent care, and a little patience are all it takes to make sure they're getting the rest they need. So, if you've noticed that your loved one's sleep isn't as restful as it should be, if they're up late into the night, tossing and turning, waking up tired, take a moment today to have that conversation. It doesn't have to be a big, overwhelming discussion. Just ask them how they're sleeping, what's keeping them awake, and what you can do to help. It's a conversation that can change everything. The simple act of addressing the issue shows your love and commitment to their well-being. And that's the first step in making real improvements to their health. I know it can be hard, especially when they resist change or seem set in their ways. But you've got this. You're in the driver's seat. You can gently encourage them toward better habits, toward better sleep, and ultimately, toward a better quality of life. It's all about taking it one step at a time, being patient, and being there for them every night, as they adjust to new routines. It might take a little time, but I promise you, the results will be worth it. And here's where the reassurance and hope come in. These changes you're making, these simple steps toward better sleep, will have a profound impact on your loved one's well-being. They'll have more energy, better mental clarity, and a stronger immune system. They'll feel more connected, more engaged, and less isolated. You're not just helping them sleep, you're giving them back a sense of control, a sense of peace, and most importantly, comfort. You're allowing them to enjoy their later years with the dignity they deserve. Remember, it's the little things that add up, the small changes in their routine, the consistency of your support, and the love you offer. These steps will make a huge difference. So, take heart. Keep going. Every effort you make, no matter how small it seems, is a step toward making their life better, healthier, and more comfortable. Together, we can make a real difference in the lives of our elderly loved ones, one night at a time. Now that we've covered all these important insights, let's take a moment to quickly recap the key points we've discussed today. We started with how sleep affects mental health, and how poor sleep can lead to cognitive decline, including conditions like dementia. Then, we explored the impact of sleep on the immune system, and why seniors need good rest to fight off illnesses and stay healthy. We also touched on the connection between sleep and heart health, showing how bad sleep habits can put extra strain on the heart, increasing risks of high blood pressure and heart disease. After that, we looked at how sleep supports physical recovery, helping the body heal and recover from illnesses or injuries faster. And finally, we dove into the ideal bedtime for seniors, stressing the importance of a consistent, early bedtime to improve overall health and well-being. I hope you're feeling more empowered now with the tools and knowledge to support your loved ones in getting the quality sleep they need. But I want to hear from you. What time do you typically suggest your loved one goes to bed? Or have you noticed any changes in their sleep patterns lately? Let's discuss in the comments below. Your experiences, thoughts, and tips can help others going through the same journey, and we're all here to learn and grow together. If you found this video helpful and want more tips on elderly care, don't forget to hit subscribe to Seniors Care. We're committed to providing the best advice, resources, and encouragement to help you care for your loved ones in the best possible way. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Your support helps others discover this crucial information, and together, we can create a stronger community of caregivers. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, stay strong, stay informed, and we'll see you in the next video with even more ways to care for your loved ones. Take care, and here's to healthier, happier tomorrows.